Keychron was formed in 2017 by a group of keyboard enthusiasts. Even though they are a fairly new company, they already have quite the following. Recently, they've reached out to me and asked me if I would like to review their K2 version 2 wireless keyboard. And of course, I said yes, as this is the most funded keyboard on Kickstarter with over $1 million pledged. The Keychron K2 has a 75% layout and can be used in both wireless and wired modes. It also has support for all devices including Windows, macOS, iOS, and Android. We're going to be unboxing this, and I'll also give you guys my first impressions of it, so let's go ahead and get started. This actually came with some plastic shrink wrap, however it was really reflective, so I went ahead and removed it before this unboxing. Anyways, taking a look at the front, you'll notice it does say Keychron K2 at the top, and it also mentions a sleek, compact, wireless mechanical keyboard. You have a graphic of the 75% layout. All the text and the wording does have a little glossy finish. At the bottom you'll see that it says a tactile mechanical keyboard for peak productivity. On the bottom right of the front of the keyboard there is a sticker. This one says C3. This is the aluminum and RGB backlit model. There are several different variations available, and the price ranges from $69 to $89 for the most expensive model. You have different backlit options, different keycap options, and also different body types from plastic to aluminum. That's pretty much it for the front of the box. Let's take a look at the bottom side. You'll notice here it also mentions Keychron K2, a sleek compact wireless keyboard. On the right side there is an additional sticker here, the serial number, the barcode, and also some product information. As I said before, this is the C3 model, which includes the RGB backlight, the metal frame, and this one comes with brown switches. So you do have 3 different switch varieties available. You have red, blue, and brown. Taking a look at the top side, again, much of the same information. On the right side, Keychron and the logo, and then on the left side, same thing. On the back side, you'll notice it mentions the compact design. It's dual compatible, wireless and wired, up to 3 devices. The battery life is also noted here with a 4,000 milliamp battery, and it advertises 4 weeks of use with the backlight disabled. The last feature noted here is the light effects. There's over 15 different light effects to choose from. Of course, this is also going to depend on which model you get. There's a white backlight model and the RGB model. On the right side, you do have a couple graphics here as well of the actual keyboard and the actual layout. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the box. Let's go ahead and open it up. So the keyboard opens up like so. And the first thing that you'll notice here is a little insert, and it says if you are a Windows user, please find the appropriate keycaps in the box and follow the instructions to swap out those keycaps. So there are keycaps available to swap out for Mac and Windows OS. I kind of feel like they should have had the Windows option on there first instead of Mac, but maybe they're trying to advertise the compatibility with all different types of devices. So there's that, but I imagine most users are going to be on Windows. Now on the inside here you got a little bit of foam padding, see that, pretty thick, and then here you have a plastic cover on the keyboard itself. If you guys have been following the channel, you know I like to save this for last, so we'll go ahead and move that over to the side. Now here at the bottom of the box you'll notice there is one insert, fairly thick manual, should have a lot of information. There is a second language, so only half of this is in English. Let's go ahead and open this up. So the first thing you'll notice is a wired keycap puller. They are pretty safe to use and don't scratch up your keycap, so there's that. And then you have a Type-C cable. Now this does appear to have the L-shaped design. The port is on the left side. I personally don't care too much, but a lot of people prefer the port to be on the back. This cable is braided. It does feel durable, so there's that. There is a little plastic bag with some keycaps in there. As that first insert mentioned earlier, we should swap out the Mac OS keycaps with the Windows OS. And there also is an orange keycap here. Let's go ahead and open this up. Here is the orange keycap, and it does appear to have a backlight logo of some sort. Keycaps do feel pretty durable and fairly thick. Let's go ahead and take a look at these other ones. As far as the textures go with the keycaps, they are a little bit textured with a pretty matte finish, so they're not smooth or slick or anything like that. So those are the accent keycaps, and you have 5 of them in total. Now that is pretty much it for the box, so let's go ahead and move on to the keyboard. Here's the keyboard. I wouldn't say that it was light, but I wouldn't say that's heavy. It feels in between so far. The cover slips off like so. Now I am kind of a little bit surprised here. When I was pressing on the keycaps earlier, I felt like there was a little bit of rigidity for some reason. So this dust cover definitely explains a lot. Now it is a fairly thin dust cover, and it just covers the very top of the keycaps. I would have liked it to cover the edge of the keyboard a little bit, but that might be asking a bit much. Other than that, let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so here is the Keychron K2. As far as the first impressions go, I do like the matte finish on the keycaps. They do feel premium. It does have a professional look. As far as the font goes on these keycaps, they don't have a gamer type of font at all, so that might be a hit or miss depending on who you are. I personally like it. I think this is a great productivity keyboard. It's a 75% design, so you have your arrow keys, you got productivity keys, and your entire function row, as well as multimedia keys. So this is a pretty functional keyboard in a really slim design. At the top left, you'll notice that orange escape key. Obviously a pretty stark contrast with the gray finish on these keycaps, but I think it's a nice touch. I don't think it's too much, I don't think it's too little, but just in case you don't like it, it does have that gray escape key right here. We'll go ahead and swap out these macOS keys here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and remove a few of these alpha keys and take a closer look at these keycaps. Okay, so I did remove a few of the keycaps. These are ABS plastic. They're pretty lightweight. If you're unfamiliar with keyboards, basically ABS keycaps, after quite some time, they'll develop a little bit of shine on the surface here. Typically for cheaper production keyboards, they tend to be not as durable as PBTs. So I think for this price range is something that you can expect. Of course, these keycaps should be shine through, but as far as the texture goes, I do like that matte finish. For me, it has just the right amount of texture and smoothness, so definitely appreciate that. So there is an option for PBT keycaps on the website. However, it is a $5 premium. That option is available if PBT keycaps is a must. Now, with that being said, as far as replacement keycaps, it might be a little bit of a challenge finding some, mainly because of the productivity keys and the different row heights. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the switches. The Keychron K2 does feature 3 different options. You have the Gateron Blue, which is a tactile clicky switch. You have the Gateron Red, which is a linear, and then you have the Gateron Brown, which is a tactile switch, which is what I have right here. For me in particular, I do like tactile switches when it comes to productivity. You'll notice the housing on these switches are transparent because this keyboard is RGB. There are white backlight options available if you're not interested in the RGB, which actually might be my recommendation, as this keyboard doesn't give off that gamer vibe. So I personally don't think RGB is a must. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the body. The body is actually one of the most significant things about the version 2. You'll notice that it has an inclined frame here. It does advertise a 9-degree typing angle. Here on the left side, you'll notice a few things. You do have a few screw holes. This does look a little bit unsightly. Other than that, you'll notice there is a Type-C port for that angled USB cable. There's also a switch to toggle between Windows, Android, and Mac and iOS. The switch on the right side is there to toggle in between wired and wireless mode. As far as the feel of these switches go, they feel very, very tactile, really good solid feedback, and they are not flimsy at all. So they feel really, really durable. You have audible and tactile feedback. As far as the construction goes, I'm pretty impressed. There is no flex. Very, very extremely durable keyboard. Taking a look at the back, there really isn't much to see here. On the right side, you have a little bit more of those screw holes to open up the keyboard. Now on the bottom side, let's take a look at that. So you'll notice some legs right here, some horizontal ones on the bottom edge of the keyboard, and then some vertical ones on the top edge of the keyboard. They do feel quite grippy. They are a little bit small, but they do protrude just enough to elevate the keyboard. Let's go ahead and see how much they grip. On my wooden unboxing table here, you'll notice there isn't hardly any movement whatsoever. Now there are additional typing angle options with the kick feet right here. The feet do feel somewhat cheap but durable at the same time. It has that satisfying click when you open it up. And then let's go ahead and feel that last one. Both feet and both angles do have that satisfying click. So you have 3 different typing angles available to suit your needs. I may go ahead and point out that this keyboard is pretty thick here at the front, so you may consider getting a wrist rest, and Keychron did send one out to me. So here is their wrist rest. It retails for $25, and I've actually been using it on my other keyboards and I like it quite a bit, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here it is, guys. This is their walnut wood palm rest. It does fit their Keychron K2 quite well, with the edges just barely extending past the sides here. As far as the finish goes, guys, this looks absolutely amazing. At the bottom, it does have some pretty large rubber grips here. For those larger keyboards like this, it definitely elevates your wrist just enough to get a really comfortable typing angle. On the bottom right, I do have a little bit of mixed feelings with the logo here. I kind of wish it was a little bit more chromed out, but it's pretty tasteful. It goes along with the look of the K2, and it's a nice but low-key design at the same time. So moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off a couple lights and we'll take a look at that RGB lighting. Okay, so there is the RGB, and this is gonna seem a little odd, but the RGB actually, honestly, it looks nice to me and it looks clean. I think it actually has a good amount of brightness. It isn't overly bright. Before I fired up the RGB, I did notice that the metal plate for the switches is painted black. And with the keycaps being gray as well, I was actually expecting some pretty muted RGB colors. There are 18 different RGB modes that I'll display at the end of the video if you're interested, but as far as my first take on the RGB, I have to say that I am thoroughly impressed. I think the RGB on this one looks pretty classy, so can't complain. There's a quick look at the RGB. So if there was a keyboard out there that did give a professional RGB look, I would say the Keychron K2 is definitely it. Now we have the typing test next, so let's go ahead and give those Gateron browns a listen. Alright, so I spent about a full week testing out the keyboard, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys all of my observations. The typing experience on the K2 was actually pretty nice. The Gateron browns have a really subtle and soft tactile bump. I enjoy typing on them, but it's definitely going to depend on your individual taste. The most pleasant surprise I encountered was the stabilizers, which are generously lubed, and I mean generously. I hope more keyboard manufacturers will follow suit and do this with their production keyboards. The keycaps at times leave a little bit to be desired, but overall I do like the matte finish and texture. The legends are very sharp and the RGB shine through looks super clean. This is a 75% design, and by that very nature, the row height for the top function row is the same as the number row, so that took some getting used to, but this is not a knock on the keyboard, just something that I noticed. The Type-C port is very recessed, and one of my usual Type-C cables did not fit. Another thing worth notice is that if you opt for this aluminum option, you're not actually getting a full aluminum case. It's more like aluminum bezels with an ABS plastic bottom frame. The keyboard is still rock solid, but definitely something worth pointing out. Interestingly, the PBT keycap option is currently limited to the keyboard with the white backlight. I wish they would have found another way to implement the aluminum bezels, as the side screws make it look cheap and not even metal. It feels like metal, but it looks like plastic. But overall, I genuinely think the Keychron K2 is a great keyboard option. I think the price is just right for the features that you're getting, and this keyboard is rock solid. I haven't encountered anything at all that's a deal breaker in any way. That pretty much sums up the video. If you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you found the video helpful, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and support the channel by subscribing. If you are interested in this keyboard, my affiliate links will be in the description below. Other than that, guys, I gotta go eat some rice. I'll catch you on the next one. This is Little Rice Muncher Gaming, signing off. Thanks.